Hey everyone, welcome back to another On the Mic with your host, me. For those of y'all joining us for the first time, welcome. My name is Michael and I recently graduated from UT with my master's in computer science. So today we're joined by two of my friends, Christine and Vivian, to discuss their experience as STEM majors here at UT. So how about y'all introduce yourselves? Vivian?
Yeah, hi, I'm Vivian. I graduated in 2018 with a bachelor's in electrical and computer engineering, or ECE for short. And I grew up in Virginia, but now I live in Austin and I work as a software engineer at IBM.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christine. I graduated in 2018 as well, and I studied computer science. I was born and raised in Maryland, and now I am working in Austin as an Android developer.
Cool. So today we're focusing our STEM experiences to computer science and engineering, but don't go away if you're neither one of those. I think there's a lot of good wisdom that's applicable for all STEM majors. But if you have any questions along the way, feel free to put in the chat on the right, and we'll be sure to answer them during our webinar. So before we get started on y'all's experience at UT, we thought it'd be funny if you could answer this question for each other, so that our viewers can get a sense of who y'all are. What's one thing you would want them to know about the other person? And whoever's ready to start can begin.
About the other person. Well, I think Vivian is a pretty awesome bass player.
I'm okay, but yeah, I,
She's
I
pretty
need
good.
I need to practice more. And I was practicing yesterday and I have my bass right here. But yeah, for Christine, Christine can play a lot of sports, which surprised me because I thought people who studied computer science didn't really like play sports, but I was wrong.
Yep, us CS people, we definitely are diverse, and we can either be like only video games or we can be a lot of sports players too. So you have them all. But anyway, let's start off with kind of getting to know you guys coming into college. So back in 2014, UT was ranked pretty well. They were number 7 in the CS department and number 8 in the EC department. So how excited were y'all when you're coming into a top school? Vivian?
Yeah, I was super excited. I was in Virginia and I was really excited to come to like a top 10 engineering program in the whole United States. And I was really excited to take engineering classes my freshman year because I know at some places you actually don't get to take like your core major classes your freshman year. But yeah, I was excited to do like hands-on, like building things with circuits and coding because the closest I ever got in high school was just doing a like computer science class. So I was really looking forward to taking those classes, but I was also kind of scared because I heard electrical engineering is one of the harder majors, and that was correct in my experience. The average on my first exam in electrical engineering was 30, around a 30, I think. And
Wow.
yeah, that it was pretty soul crushing, but turned out all right. So yeah,
Nice. You have a degree, so it's all worth it in the end.
I do. Yes.
Yeah. For me, I was also super excited to come to UT. Yes, as an out of state student, yeah, I did a lot of research on UT as a school actually, and actually did like a tour my senior year where I got to meet current students and also some professors actually. And what I've heard and what I've researched was that, yeah, UT actually has a lot of really good CS professors who are well known in their field of study. For example, I learned that at UT, there's a professor named Simon Lamb who actually led his research group to invent the concept of secure sockets and actually created that first implementation of the secure sockets layer. And so I was like, wow, these professors are like super smart. They're doing great in their field of studies, and you can have research opportunities with them too. Um, but at the same time, I learned from students that these professors, even though they're really smart, they're not too smart to teach. Um, and they really care about the students as well. I remember, yeah, one professor on the first day, he had already memorized like everyone's name. So it feels like
Wow.
they really care about you and know you and want you to do well. So I was like super excited and like, wow, this school is
Wait,
great.
how many students are in that class?
It was like 55 students.
Wow.
Wow.
I know, that's crazy. Yeah.
Dang, man, those are old times where you actually can visit campus and visit people and stuff. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
hopefully through these things we can kind of get a little percentage of that, be able to share that kind of knowledge for the incoming freshmen.
Hmm.
But yeah, I guess for the next part of a computer science slash engineer student's life is the computer. So for y'all, what was your setup? And throughout undergrad, what carried you through that? And maybe Vivian can go first, or Christine.
Sure. I started out with the Windows computer because I thought for engineering, you like need to have Windows OS to run the programs you need for class. But halfway through, I switched to a Mac, which is what I recommend people do if you're studying anything to do with computers, because yeah, it's just easier to code on a Mac. And if you really need that Windows software, you can install something called a virtual machine, which is like a computer in your computer, and you can install Windows on that virtual machine. And then from there, you can run those programs that you need for those other engineering classes. So yeah, just spend the money, get a Mac.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very similarly, I too had a Windows computer all 4 years. And don't be deceived, it's actually a Windows computer, even though it kind of looks like a Mac. Um, but yeah, I used Windows pretty much all my life until like I graduated, I guess, or for internships. And only because it was cheaper and it had like Microsoft Office. Um, but yes, yeah. But actually, using a Windows computer for undergrad classes actually gave me quite a few pain points as well. Because in our classes, yeah, we had to run our programs, our projects on Linux. So what I would have to do was SSH into our CS lab computers. And SSH is a way in which you can securely access, another computer. And so I would use our CS machines in the comfort of my home. But that was, I didn't really like that because SSH isn't very good on Windows, honestly. So a lot of times I would actually go to the CS lab and I just work there since they have like Ubuntu Linux and Windows on those machines. And also their chairs are very ergonomic. It's like $1,000. So it's definitely better than my own. And I had considered dual booting my laptop too with Linux, but yeah, I think the chairs won me over. And also the community of fellow people who are
Suffering.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, oh man, we need to encourage these students.
It's okay. You can be real.
Suffering together, but we grow through it. Yeah. But like
Yeah.
Vivian, I would definitely recommend a Mac.
Nice. Yeah, sounds like Mac is the way to go. And yeah, I definitely remember those $1,000 chairs in the GDC, the computer science building. Man, sometimes it's like, oh, you can feel really comfortable in it and like lose track of time. For me, I kept the same. I'm still using the same computer all throughout undergrad. So it's been 6 years since I first got it, and it's still working fine, but slowly it's getting slower. So hopefully, I might need to change eventually. But now we've right at the main aspects of college life. It's classes and student organizations. So for classes, of course, they're the essential ones. So for y'all, if y'all could think back about which ones you did take, if you guys could share for us which ones were the most fun or which ones were the most pivotal for you guys. And Vivian, how about you start us off?
Sure. My most fun and most pivotal class, I would say it's the same class actually, and it's a freshman level class in the ECE program called Intro to Embedded Systems. And I liked it a lot because you code like on the computer and then you actually like build circuits to like work with that code. And so we would use things like wires, LEDs, and like breadboards, which are just like places where you can prototype and you can see your code come to life like in real life on the board. And I was like, this is exactly what I was looking for in college. And so I had a lot of fun in that class. And there's also a final project at the end. and you can like face off with other students to see like who has the best like final project. And shout out to Dr. Yarabali, Dr. Chwari, and Dr. Balvano, who all taught that class when I went there. They're all super awesome professors. You should take it with any one of them if you're going to take it. And yeah, I put that project on my resume, and it actually helped me get my first internship. So it was very pivotal
Wow.
and very fun class.
Wow.
Highly recommend.
So it was exactly what you're looking for, because you come into college, you're looking for something more hands-on than computer science, and it seemed like that was all the case. Cool. All right, Christine, what were yours?
Okay, so definitely the most helpful was CS 314, which is the data structures class. And you'll either take that your first semester or second semester if you come in as a CS major. This class was super helpful because it prepares you for technical interviews for internships, since a lot of those interviews require a really good working knowledge of data structures. And also, it's a good class because you do a lot of projects, so you can put those projects on your resume, and because it's actually complicated enough for you to talk about at career fairs and such. And yeah, once you actually get more experience in internships or other more complicated personal projects or other classes projects, then you can kind of like slowly replace those existing projects. And for the most fun, I would definitely say computer vision, which is the upper div class. And yeah, since I'm a pretty visual person, I found it pretty cool to be able to work with visual data and to like train models and classify objects, and yeah, writing algorithms for visual data. And one project I remember that was like super fun was actually stitching images together. So shout out to my friends who let me take photos of them, like spelling out words using their bodies, because I was trying to spell out the word love. So yeah, I took separate shots of them, 2 people, 4 letters, and yeah, ran it through the algorithm to stitch those images together. So
Wow.
But can't you do that with like Photoshop or MS Paint or something?
It's funny that you mentioned MS Paint. But yes, you can, but can it do it automatically in 2 seconds?
Fair enough. Fair.
And it's not your own code, so there's a little pride in that. Wow, so it seems like for both of y'all, your introduction classes were the most pivotal ones, which I guess I'd imagine it's like the most foundational ones. Were they hard in any way, or were they a tough adjustment to college?
um, I would say for me, yeah, CS 314, the intro classes were an adjustment for me, just because coming into college, I didn't really know all that much about computer science and had zero knowledge about data structures. And so it's a pretty fast paced class, but it was definitely doable. I think, yeah, professors and TAs and friends for sure. Definitely had those camaraderies. Yeah.
Yeah, similar for me. My freshman level classes were a big wake up call to me because I thought they were like really hard, and the grading curve was like kind of, the grades started out low, but then by the end of the semester they like curve it up at the end. So during the semester it was hard, but then at the end it was like okay. But yeah, freshman level classes were hard, but then so are all the other classes too. So
Wow. So I think as one takeaway is that the freshman level classes may be tough and stuff, but they ultimately pay their dividends as you were able to like lay down that foundation for your understanding in the area.
Yep, for sure.
Cool. Well, for me, it was I took this class called Neural Networks. It was basically my introduction to machine learning and artificial intelligence, and yeah, it basically excited me to realize the possibility of what machines can do, other than just like do stuff repetitively, but like learn how to do things that us humans do. So for me, that was pretty cool. But that was more of an upper div class that hopefully you guys will be able to take in a couple years. But anyway, let's move on to the next part of college life is our student organizations. So I know that you guys joined a lot. So would you guys mind sharing which ones y'all are part of, or which ones you guys thought about joining? How about Vivian, you start us off?
sure. Yeah, when I was a freshman, I tried joining like 5 different clubs. I thought about joining like fencing, briefly entertained the idea of doing Quidditch, but then I was like, nah. Engineering chamber orchestra, mobile app development, and like many more. But just because of like time constraints and because I want to be like more deeply involved in like a few clubs rather than shallowly involved in a lot of clubs, I ended up just doing 2. And those were Women in ECE, or WEC for short. And yeah, I joined that one because I don't know if y'all know, but only like, I don't know, 28% of women are, or only 28% of the students in engineering are women, and only
Wow.
18% of the students in ECE are women. And so I was having a hard time, like, where are all the other like girls in my classes? All I see are like guys everywhere. And I was like, I want to make some friends who are like girls in my major. And so WEC was the place to do that. And they have a ton of like fun socials and like career workshop things and free food. And so it was great. That's why I joined. And if y'all people who are watching are a woman in ECE, or even just support women in ECE, feel free to join that club as well. And the other club that I joined was Koinonia, which is where I met Christine and Michael.
Yep.
Yep. Actually, very similarly to Vivian, I was also super ambitious the first few weeks of school. I signed up for like maybe 10 plus orgs, like things like ranging from like healthy lifestyle, medical missions, even Aikido, volunteer orgs, and of course CS orgs. But yeah, just like Vivian said, that's definitely not feasible. I only have 24 hours in a day, and there are classes and projects. So definitely
Yeah.
got to choose just a few that I wanted to stick to. And so for me, that was mainly like WIX, which is like the CS equivalent of WEC, which is Women in Computer Science. Also UTCS Roadshow, which is a volunteering org, UTCS Ambassadors, and Koinonia, which is the Christian fellowship that Vivian mentioned.
Yeah, for me, I was also part of Koinonia. That's where I learned a lot about myself too. I'm sure they did too. And I met a bunch of resilient friends now that we go through life together, and the joy of meeting new people and just listening to their stories. And also, I was also part of UTCS Roadshow, and yeah, here, yeah, we went around to under-resourced schools, and we were able to teach computer science to them in a way that we came up with, whether it was like teaching binary or just simple arithmetic or just memory or RAM or computing. So it was really cool, and we prepare presentations and to do this, and maybe in like physical activities to like fundamentally represent these concepts. So yeah, so um, for that actually leads us to the last question, which is what were some volunteering opportunities for you guys? So for me, it was UTCS Roadshow. For you guys, what were they? And yeah, maybe Christine, you could start first.
Yeah, so I also did UTCS Roadshow, and Michael Lee kind of talked about that quite a bit. And yeah, we do Explore UT as well as a part of Roadshow. And yeah, it's like a big event in which a lot of kids would congregate and gather on UT campus and kind of just walk around and explore what all these clubs and majors and all that fun stuff that the school and these fields of studies can offer. Um, but I think my main one was UTCS Ambassadors, which is essentially a volunteering org for the CS department. And what we would do is we would prepare booklets for tours for people who come in who want to learn more about UTCS or want to enroll in the program, respond to emails, and actually give building tours, probably like twice a week during the semesters. And so I thought it was pretty cool because I was also on the receiving end in high school, and to be able to be on the giving end, I thought, like, man, they were super helpful for me, so I want to help them too. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the kind of switch in between before and after.
Yeah, for me, WEC had a lot of the same volunteer opportunities. The big ones, like Christine mentioned, were Explore UT, and then also Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day, which is where, yeah, the school tries to get a bunch of like girls to come to UT and see like what is engineering all about and how, yeah, it's like accessible to like girls too. It's not just for guys. And then, yeah, there's a little hands-on activity, and but yeah, boys can come too. Everyone is welcome. And then one more additional thing that I participated in was something called Indigitus Hack. I think it was a hackathon sponsored by Crew, which is like an intersection of like technology and faith. Like, how can I use my technological skills to for like Christian work? And like one example project they had was like putting the Bible or like different videos portraying stories from the Bible onto a Raspberry Pi, because in some countries you can't get like the Bible because it's like illegal or you could get killed. So yeah, just doing that. And then it was a really cool thing that I started with some of my friends, and I think they still do it every year, and hopefully it'll happen again next year.
Yeah, I remember hearing about Digitus. I was pretty excited for it because, yeah, at some point, like I had my faith and then I had my career, and I really wanted to somehow like I didn't want them to be disjoint. So this was a nice avenue to be able to use it in that way. And I remember that project. It was pretty cool. But anyway, that's it for our webinar. Thank you all for all joining. If you found this interesting, make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe and bell icon so that you can be updated with all our different things. And if you're watching this as a video later, feel free to comment down other topics that you want us to talk about, whether it's specifically women in computer science or women in ECE and their experience, or just generally like their kind of research that maybe some of the professors do and want that I want to have those question and answers. Feel free to put that in the comments. But I also want to plug in our freshman advice and mentorship program. So us three here, we are all mentors for that. And basically, we know that UT is different than where you're used to. So whether you came from like a suburb or maybe even around Austin, it's probably going to be different than what you're used to. So we want to help y'all adjust and answer those questions that you have. So highly recommend you to sign up. And the links are in the description if you want to sign up or just learn more about our program. So that's it for today. Thank you, Vivian and Christine, for joining. And thank all of y'all for joining us today. And hook 'em horns.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.